What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on a Tuesday with my boy Mayhem Matthew. How you doing, Mayhem? Welcome to Touchdown Tuesdays.
Yes, it's a great day to be live on Touchdown Tuesdays. We do this once a week, every single Tuesday. We are going to be talking about quarterback battles, as you see in the title. We're going to be talking about a little bit about NIL, and the transfer portal is heating up. So we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. And then to end the show, we are going to be talking a little bit about recruiting, and I have we're going to be talking about my new show coming up on Thursday, about Cruton Dogs show. So anyways, we got a big show for y'all today. Ballard, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. We are going to do conference by conference. So let's go ahead and start with SEC quarterback battles.
Yeah, so I think the first thing that sticks out to me being a fan of this team is Alabama. Jalen Milroe had some experience last year, and in comes redshirt freshman who sat out last year as third string behind Bryson Milroe, Ty Simpson, who's a 5-star. We actually have A-Day this week, so it'll be the first time really to see both of these guys in action from a fan standpoint. I'm excited for it. And I think that's really the main go-to quarterback battle leading college football today is what's Alabama going to do? What do you think, man?
Well, obviously, you got to go with the experience. Jalen Milroe, he played in one game. He was, Bryce Young was injured. Got to see him in action. A lot of Bama fans did not like what they saw. And, here's the thing about Jalen Milroe. Last year, he did not get a whole entire off-season practice with the ones. Okay, this year will be the first year that he's getting 100% of the reps with the ones. And a lot of people, during spring practices have said that Jalen Milroe has a cannon for an arm, which that's why Alabama recruited him. So we won't really know too much until Alabama's A-Day, and even then, you won't know 100% how Milroe's looking. But on the other side, you got Ty Simpson. He's highly recruited. Obviously he's at Alabama. They're a power team, blue blood. But Ty Simpson, he could definitely challenge Jalen Milroe. We know Nick Saban is not afraid to put backup quarterbacks, in the game. And Georgia fans, y'all know that really well. That Alabama Nick Saban is not scared to pull a starting quarterback. So it'll be interesting. I still think you have to have Milroe start just based off of experience. And, he does have a cannon for an arm. He can run. He has legs. So he is a speedster there. And he reminds me a little bit. He has, he's bulky. So he kind of reminds me of a KJ Jefferson a little bit. Maybe not as powerful, but I'm looking forward to seeing that quarterback battle heat up.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I listen to all the experts all the time, almost every single day. And, one thing I've been hearing is that Jalen Milroe does seem like the guy for Alabama, and he should be the guy for Alabama. You look back at his stats last year, 297 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks with a QBR of 82. He did have to start. Remember when Bryce, I'm trying to remember what the injury was. That Bryce Young had.
I think it was a concussion protocol.
I think so too. I think he did take a hit to the head. He only played in 5 games last year. Did play in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State. He had 1 attempt for no yards, no sacks though. He just tried a pass attempt and handed the ball off. But a game that stood out, yes, it was close. It was 24-20, but he started against Texas A&M, and they ran the ball a lot in that game. But he was 12 of 19 with a 63 completion percentage for 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did have a pick, and his longest play was of 35. The only issue for me was not necessarily the interception. I like the 3 touchdowns, but he took 4 sacks in the game. And the offensive line we know was suspect for Alabama last year. It's supposed to be much improved. Jalen Milroe is supposed to be much improved. I think if you go based off talent, I think you put Ty Simpson in there and give him a chance. This guy is electric, knows what he wants to do with the football. He can throw darts downfield. He's very mobile. So is Jalen Milroe. But Ty Simpson's a 5-star athlete out of high school. We'll see, man. I don't know. I think it's going to be Jalen Milroe's to lose, but I think we'll know more come Saturday when A-Day comes on.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to keep on harping on this, but Jalen Milroe, he's getting reps with the ones, like I said, and we'll see how his progression is leading up to, I believe, A-Days this Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about Ole Miss. They have a 3-way, which I really think it's just a 2-way battle, but we'll say it's a 3-way for the show. Jackson Dart, Spencer Sanders, and Walker Howard. Jackson Dart is a veteran of Ole Miss. He played last year for Ole Miss. Spencer Sanders comes from Oklahoma State. It seems like he's been at Oklahoma State for 100 years. And then Walker Howard, he was a true freshman last year at LSU. So he will be joining the Ole Miss crew. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I've heard, I don't know how true this is. Comment section, y'all can let me know. But Spencer Sanders is dealing with a little bit of injury problems there. But really, I think it's just a Jackson Dart, Spencer Sanders competition. Spencer Sanders is definitely the better quarterback if you have 2 healthy quarterbacks ready to go. I think Spencer Sanders is by far the better quarterback. But Jackson Dart does have experience with Ole Miss, so we'll be looking forward to that. I'm gonna say the same exact thing that I said about Alabama. You gotta give Jackson Dart the start, and if he messes up, then Spencer Sanders comes in and takes over. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so according to this is from like a Microsoft website here. I don't know what I'm reading, but they predict Spencer Sanders for Ole Miss. You mentioned 4-star prospect Walker Howard comes in from LSU. He attempted 6 passes last year and cleaned up in blowout games, which LSU had a few of those, and he looked pretty good. A lot of people predict Walker Howard as a day 2 draft pick. Could he be better? First off, I'll say this. Any quarterback out there for Ole Miss, we got to believe that Lane Kiffin is an offensive guru. He knows what he's doing. I think you got to trust him and what he can do with these quarterbacks. If you go off experience, Jackson Dart is the guy. I know Spencer Sanders has been around for a while and a little longer, yes, but I mean experience with the team. Jackson Dart was the guy last year. I don't see a reason to bench him, but when you look at, I would say it comes down between him and Spencer Sanders. I really don't know too much about Walker Howard, if I'm being honest, other than he's from LSU. But Spencer Sanders didn't come in to be a backup. And he did very, very well at Oklahoma State. He's got a strong arm. He's mobile, can get outside the pocket. There's a lot of things he can do. So, honestly, I know it's a three-man race, but I think ultimately what you'll see is it's either going to be Dart or Sanders. That's my opinion for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. Let's go to a familiar face in Georgia. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest. I think that spring game pretty much told us who the starting quarterback was for the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I've been telling y'all guys, Georgia does not really have a quarterback battle. Carson Beck got this in the bag, but a lot of people didn't believe that. A lot of people just a week ago, they had some inside information with Brock Vandagriff had 3 touchdown passes and Carson Beck had 3 interceptions in one of their practices. And I don't know how they got that inside information because that was a closed practice. And a lot of the media can't get into the practices. So a lot of that was speculation that and it could have been true, but Carson Beck, I've been saying for a long time, ever since pretty much the season's ended, that Carson Beck is your starter. And I understand that Carson Beck looked good in blowouts of games. And I know you're going to say, well, it was a blowout versus UAB. It was a blowout versus, South Carolina. It was a blowout versus Vanderbilt. Yeah, but he also played in the national championship. Okay, and I know you're going to say,
yeah,
"Well, TCU didn't deserve to be there." And look, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day because I can go on and on about how I do believe TCU deserved to be there, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the quarterback battle. And honestly, my honest opinion, it was never really a quarterback battle. I think you had to have this as a quarterback battle so that Brock Vandagriff doesn't transfer right away. And I think you will see Brock Vandagriff transfer here. I don't know in the next few. Obviously, only got 15 days to do so. So here in the next couple of days, you should hear Brock Vandagriff transferring, unless he thinks he does deserve a shot. We'll see. And somebody asked him about it, and he said he's going to take it day by day. So we'll see how that goes. What's your thoughts?
yeah. I think the Georgia quarterback situation is a big deal this offseason. You're replacing a. I can't believe I'm fixing to say this, but I know it's true. You're replacing a legend in Stetson Bennett. I laugh saying that, but it's true. I mean, back-to-back national championships. What are you going to do with that? Walk-on quarterback. You have actual guys recruited. I know you guys have like Gunnar Stockton in waiting. Maybe he's down the road in a few years. But for this year, what I saw with Carson Beck was phenomenal. I mean, it looked like he knew how to run an offense. And that's something that we didn't hear Georgia fans say. Like, Georgia fans were not saying anything about Carson Beck being this good, like what he was on Saturday. And I know it's just a spring game, but I really believe he's got to be the guy for you guys. I don't think there's any competition right now. I mean, there is, but there shouldn't be. No
And
disrespect to Vandergriff, but I mean, I think Carson Beck looked calm in the pocket. He delivered the football when he needed to. He extended plays, and he delivered on the football field when it mattered most on Saturday.
right, and I made a video just a couple months ago, before all this was happening, and I said Carson Beck could be like a Drake May, and he could be up for the Heisman. You talk about Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was up for the Heisman, and to me, I'm gonna say this: I think Stetson Bennett was a good quarterback for Georgia. I didn't believe in him in 2021, and I really didn't believe in him probably for the first half of the 2022 season. But he is a good quarterback. He will be drafted. Um, you know, and I believe Carson Beck was a really good backup for him. And I believe Carson Beck will be the starter. And I do believe this. Carson Beck has a better arm and better you know, I guess better accuracy, right? He has better
Yeah.
accuracy than Stetson Bennett. This guy, and I already said this in a previous video, but I'm gonna say it again for people that wasn't listening. Carson Beck can fit the ball into tight windows, and we saw that in the spring game. I mean, he was making plays, that Brock Vandergriff wasn't making. Brock Vandergriff, whenever he was about to whenever down set hut and as a quarterback, you're supposed to go through your progressions. Okay, this is who I want to throw it to. He's not open. Find the second wide receiver. Find the third wide receiver. Find a tight end. Um, Brock Vandergriff, he looked at the first target, and if he wasn't open, he took off running with his legs. And that's Carson. That's something that Carson Beck showed that he does have the ability to go through his progressions. He looked calm. He looked collected. And so, not going to really talk about this anymore because Carson Beck is your starter, guys. And I've been saying it way before the spring game. So, yeah, let's move on to a Georgia rival here, Florida. Oh man, listen, Florida is a train wreck, aren't they? Florida's NIL offered Jaden Rashada like $11 million, and they couldn't promise him that money. Now, and then they had a other quarterback that went to jail. We're not going to talk about that. We're all about spreading positivity on this channel, so we're not going to talk about that. But now they end up with transfer Graham Mertz from Ohio State, and then they have Jack Miller. Give me your thoughts on this.
I don't know too much about Jack Miller. I remember Graham Mertz at Wisconsin, and he did all right. Wasn't too bad. Not the best of quarterbacks. I don't know what to say because Florida as a whole unit in that spring. Did you watch all of that spring game the other night?
I'm gonna be honest. I caught bits and pieces of the Florida spring game. I did not watch all of it. No.
I had to go back and watch highlights, but I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a team that looked like they didn't know what to do on a football field. I saw a team that looked frightened and scared to be there, like they didn't want to be there. I don't know, man. I don't expect Florida to be that good this year. Now, as far as the quarterback battle goes, I think it doesn't matter who they start. They're not going to finish that well. I think that's true. I mean, I think maybe it's going to be Graham Mertz.
I did.
But I just Florida.
I mean, I got a serious question. I don't know how long Graham Mertz has. I'm assuming that he has a couple more years to play. I think the quarterback for Florida will be Graham Mertz because Billy Napier talks really highly of him, saying that he could be the best quarterback out there from the transfer portal, which is ridiculous statement. That's a very ridiculous statement. That's Billy Napier actually said that he believes that they grabbed the best quarterback in the portal, and hey, Billy Napier, you're wrong on that one. The little bit I saw from the spring game and highlights and stuff, Graham Mertz is not a good quarterback, and they do got one good receiver. Part of their problem is they don't have anybody to throw it to, and that was their problem last year. Can't remember Rick in his name Ricky something Ricky Pearsall. That's the only wide receiver that Florida has. Who else are they going to throw it to? Yeah, I don't know. Twisted Rooster, thank you for listening and showing us some love. he says, "Why are y'all picking on those poor little Gators? I mean, come on, man. If the shoe was on the other foot, they'll be picking on us too." So Florida, man, I ain't got much really to say. Graham Mertz probably going to be starting quarterback because Billy Napier thinks he's the best out of the transfer portal, and that's that. You
Look,
got
it
anything?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they start. They're not going bowling. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? They're probably
yeah.
not. I think
If
they'll
they
be
do go
lucky to.
bowl, if they do go bowling, it'll be a 6-6 year.
Yeah.
So, anything else to say about this horrible Florida team?
No, and that's really all we got for the SEC quarterbacks. Are you ready to move on to the Big Ten?
Oh, for sure.
I'll let you take the lead. What you got?
So, up first, we got Nebraska. You got Casey Thompson returning, and you got Georgia Tech transfer Jeff Sims. Nebraska has a new
Mhm.
head coach in Matt Rule. Brings in a new offensive coordinator. They take South Carolina's offensive coordinator. Um, so I'm of the belief that it'll be Casey Thompson. I think Casey Thompson is a good quarterback. I still think Jeff Sims is a good quarterback. I think Jeff Sims has probably the better legs, and then I think Casey Thompson has the better arms. So I'll go Casey Thompson here. What you think?
Yeah, well, according to this article I'm reading right here from All Huskers on Fan Nation by Joe Hudson, this actually put out an hour ago. So Casey Thompson has not been competing. He's still rehabbing from his shoulder surgery he had last year, but he is right on schedule to return. That being said, as far as who has been competing, um, it has been Jeff Sims, who I think you mentioned is from Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken, um, and Heinrich Harburg. I hope I said that right. I don't know, man. I think Jeff Sims has the experience over Harburg, at least to my knowledge. I don't really know much about Harburg. I know Jeff Sims from when he was at Georgia Tech. All I really have to say is if I'm going with someone, it's probably Jeff Sims.
Okay. Yeah. I like I said, I think it's probably Casey Thompson just because I'm pretty sure he was the quarterback for Nebraska last year. But let's go move on to Ohio State. Now, this is kind of something that you don't really see from Ohio State quarterback battles. You got Kyle McCord. He was for the past couple years, he was the backup to CJ Stroud. And then you got Devin Brown. He is a class of 2022 recruit, 4-star. He is from Draper, UT. So um, he's I don't really know too much about him. I know he's at Ohio State, so he's got to be a really good quarterback there. But I'm gonna just be honest with you. Kyle McCord is is probably the starting quarterback. I mean, he's waited his turn and he's going to get a chance. Both of them are probably really good quarterbacks there. Ohio State fans are freaking out. They're saying that they don't have a quarterback, but I'm not worried because well, number one, I'm not an Ohio State fan. Number two, Ohio State always have a good quarterback. So Kyle McCord, you're starting quarterback there.
Yeah, Kyle McCord. I'll probably lean with him. Then you have Devin Brown. Um, got this from another website because I'm trying to do research here because I'm just going to be honest. I don't have the best of knowledge when it comes to these. I'm not an insider, but you look at Kyle McCord, his spring in the spring game was 18 of 34, 184 yards, and a touchdown pass to Carnell Tate. 18 of 34. 184 yards. That's decent. It's not bad. It's not the best. Um, I would probably have to say Kyle McCord is probably your guy. Um, you know, I just I don't know who's gonna win. Um, Neither one of these guys is gonna fill the shoes of what CJ Stroud did. I think that's fair to say. I don't think they're on that talent level. I'm not here to rip on them, by the way, by no means. I'm just saying that, you know, you want a guy that's going to give the team this year the best chance that they have at it. Like for Ohio State, they want to go get a national title so bad. It's probably not going to happen, but Kyle McCord, probably your guy. If not him, then it's um, Devin Brown. I'm probably going to lean Kyle McCord on this one.
Right. So let's go ahead and talk about Texas quarterback. I really don't think Texas has a quarterback battle. Even the head coach stated that Quinn Ewers is the man for Texas. I think Arch Manning's going to probably redshirt this year, as he should, and Quinn Ewers is the quarterback there. What you think?
I think he should be. I think he did great things for Texas last year. And some might say, too, that Alabama game, oh, if Quinn didn't get hurt, we probably could have beat Alabama. You said the same thing about Colt McCoy. So I don't know what to tell you. No, I mean, Sarkisian came out and blatantly said, hey, this is our guy. This is what's going to happen. And pending he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be our quarterback. He said that about Quinn Ewers. And I think that's right. I just think that, like, I saw some highlights of Arch Manning, and Arch Manning looks like he's ready. Honestly, he looks like he's ready. I just think that maybe Sarkisian should open the window just a little bit for Arch Manning for the remainder of the spring and throughout the summer. And then you get to fall camp and you say, okay, this is our guy. I think it's still too early for anybody out there at Texas to be naming a starting quarterback. What do you think?
Um, Listen, I think Texas got their quarterback, man. Quinn Ewers, he's really good quarterback. I'm gonna go with I'm definitely gonna go with Texas and Quinn Ewers. But let's talk about different. Let's move along from the Big 12. Let's talk about Pac-12 quarterback battles. We got one Pac-12 quarterback battle in particular in UCLA. We got a three-way. Uh, you got Dante Moore. He's a true freshman coming in. Class of 2023. We got Kent State transfer Colin Schlee, and we got Washington transfer Ethan Garbers. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not an expert on UCLA by any means, but I'm just gonna say this, right? That I think probably Colin Schlee is going to be your starting quarterback. A lot of people are very high on Dante Moore, but I don't think Ethan Garbers is going to be your quarterback. But it'll be between Colin Schlee and Dante Moore. I still think Kent State transfer Colin Schlee has the upper hand on this one. What do you think?
I don't know. I might have to disagree with you here. It might be the first one we've disagreed on. I have a feeling it's going to be Dante Moore. He has balled out this spring, according to sources, and all the experts are saying that they're hearing great things about him. Nothing but positivity. He's got a strong arm, can read the defense in practice. I think it's going to be Dante Moore. He's a 5-star freshman, really talented recruit. Why a 5-star goes to UCLA, I don't know, but it makes it very intriguing and interesting as to what this team can do in the Pac 12 this year.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, I have mad respect for Chip Kelly. I mean, Chip Kelly,
Yeah.
he had that powerful offense at Oregon. He had some great quarterbacks there in Oregon. Um, Pretty sure Marcus Mariota, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus Mariota was on that Oregon team that he had. Very good quarterback there. You know,
Mhm.
I think I don't know. Can a true freshman lead this UCLA team? Uh, are they going to use a transfer? I mean, they went to the transfer portal for a reason. They got two transfers out of Washington and Kent State. I seen a little bit. Obviously, I watched the Georgia versus Kent State last year. I saw a little bit of this guy play in that game, but other than that, I really don't know too much about this quarterback battle. But I would assume that one of these transfers get a shot at this starting role. But like you said, Dante Moore, true freshman, a lot of people are higher on him. He did good in spring practice, so it could very well be Dante Moore. You want to lead us into the ACC quarterback battles?
Let's go. Where do you want to start, man? We actually have quite a few. We got 4 teams. I guess let's start with and I give a shout out to our friend Sea Dog. Love you, Sea Dog, if you're watching this back or get a chance to hear this. Georgia Tech, Haynes King, Zach Pyron, and then Pumachan. You kind of got a three-way race there, 3-man race, and that the first one sounded bad. Anyways, Georgia Tech, man, what do you think? Haynes King has been around a couple different schools, I think, or maybe he was only at Texas A&M, but he comes in. Pumachan has, from what I understand, the most experience. I don't know much about Zach Pyron. I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything. I think it's going to be between Pumachan and Haynes King. That's what I think is going to happen. And cut
Yeah,
it down. Nice.
I do know. Since Georgia Tech is the little brother of Georgia, I know a little bit about these guys. Obviously, I think Haynes King is going to be your starter. He, number one, he was in the SEC and knows a lot about these SEC teams. You got 2 SEC teams in Ole Miss that you play if you're Georgia Tech, and you also play Georgia at the end of the year. And Haynes King, whenever the other quarterback for Texas A&M went down. Remember, Haynes King played in that Alabama versus Texas A&M game and
Mhm.
was literally a catch away from winning the game. So,
Yeah.
he has experience playing the big guys as like Alabama. So that'll get Georgia Tech ready for uh, a big time team in Georgia, and then you got Ole Miss, right? Georgia Tech got blown out by Ole Miss last year, so they're gonna want to get some revenge from Ole Miss, and having Haynes King as your quarterback uh, definitely will help you. Um, Pumachan probably QB number 2. Um, I seen some flashes of you know I guess not greatness, but he did pretty good. And Zach Pyron, uh, from what I'm hearing, he has a little bit of work to do. But that's the quarterback battle there. I think Haynes King got that one in the bag.
So you got Haynes King there. I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I think he's more talented than Zach Pyron. You also have on their roster a guy in Zach Gibson. I think I've heard a little bit about him. He's a junior. Um, so he comes from Akron. But it does go between of course Haynes King and then Pumachan and Zach Pyron. I don't know, man. Haynes King, former 5-star, why he chose Texas A&M in the first place, I don't know what his reasoning behind that was. It didn't really work out there. He had some good moments, had some flashes. He transferred to Georgia Tech for a reason. I think he wants to show everyone, hey, this is why I was a 5-star rated quarterback. And if things work out this spring, throughout the summer and fall camp, maybe we'll see him wearing gold and yellow on the field. So,
All right, lead us into the next battle.
the next quarterback battle. Yeah, we got going down to Louisville, Evan Conley, Kahib Johnson, and Sam Bolton. None of those names really ring a bell other than Evan Conley. I think Evan Conley I've heard of a little bit. What do you think? Louisville is, I think, a pretty interesting team this year in the ACC and has potential. I don't know why Mayhem's laughing so much. Or
I don't know, man. I just, Louisville to me, they're gonna be garbage. They're gonna be garbage.
It doesn't matter, right? It don't matter who they take at quarterback.
I guess pick Conley to win. Listen, we're
man.
not ESPN here, okay? We're not some professionals or anything like that. We don't know everything about every team, but I think Evan Conley probably gets the job there at Louisville. I mean, Louisville's they lose Malik Cunningham, and
Yep.
they're just gonna fall off.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at it right now. I want you to guess which of these guys played last year, even a little bit. Could you guess?
I would assume Conley.
No, none of them. None of them played. I'm looking at the stats behind Malik Cunningham. They had Brock Doman and they had a wide receiver who attempted 6 passes. So, I mean, that all of these guys are fresh and new to the team. Some are transfers, yes. But at the same time, man, when you're a team like Louisville, it's going to kill you. Going to kill you that you don't have that experience. So it just amazes me. They also now they did bring in a transfer quarterback that we didn't list. Unless something has changed, back in December, they had a guy from California come in, Jack Plummer. Let me see. I want to find out more about. I really wish I could tell you guys I knew more about these other quarterbacks that we mentioned. I don't. I've never heard of really any of them. So you got a 3-man race at Louisville. Once again, a 3-man race in the ACC. I guess just let them battle it out.
All right, who's the next team?
All right, NC State, pretty good team. They got MJ Morris versus Ben Bentley. Now
right,
MJ Morris did not necessarily start the whole season, but he had a couple games and he beat teams like Virginia Tech and Wake, which is a plus on his part to maybe give him a leg up.
All right, so fishing football. Thanks for helping us out there. Jack Plummer was with Jeff Brom and Purdue way back before Aiden O'Connell.
Okay, thank you, Fishing.
So, but listen, I think MJ Morris is going to be the starting quarterback. I think he has a leg up on all the other quarterbacks there. You lose a quarterback in Devin Leary to Kentucky. So MJ Morris, I think, is going to take the reins at NC State. I don't even have I really don't even have a question or concern there at NC State. I think MJ Morris is the guy.
Okay. Yeah, I think having that experience last year, I think I got to agree with you on MJ Morris. Don't know too much about Ben Bentley, but we know a little bit about MJ Morris. Like I mentioned, he had wins over really good teams in Virginia Tech and Wake. Um, when a guy has wins like that that help your game, stuff like that. Um, don't you want to help him grow and build off of that momentum?
Right. Um, is there any more quarterback battles there?
Yes, that we got one more.
All right, let's fire them up.
Pittsburgh, Phil Jerkovic and Christian Valio.
Yeah, I think Phil Jerkovic is going to be the starter there. Uh, I don't know. Did he transferred from somewhere? If I'm not mistaken, but I think he is going to be your assumed starter for the Pitt Panthers.
I think so too. Phil Jerkovic previously played for Boston College and Notre Dame, actually. So he's been around. I don't know why he keeps transferring. Something's happening where he just doesn't like where he is, or does he keep losing his job? Is it, that he's just keeps finding himself in the wrong situation? Because when a guy transfers one time, it's like, okay, well, maybe he just wants to get out of there or wants to start. But if you transfer multiple times, obviously something's going wrong. So I don't know what it is, but my guess is to take over for Pitt is probably going to be Phil Jerkovic. You got Christian Valio. Um, love the first name, but uh, don't know too much about him. I could Google him and see what we have, but what do you think about Pitt, man, overall and their quarterback situation? I mean, I think it's going to be Jerkovic.
Yeah, me too. Um, without really without question, but we do have that quarterback battle there going on at
Yeah.
Pitt, and I think Pitt offense is going to take a slight step backwards from last year. And things didn't work out with Keaton Slovis. He ended up transferring.
Yeah.
But I don't
Oh,
know.
and by the way, Christian Valio actually played for Penn State, so he's been around too. So you got two transfers.
Yeah, so I think they're doing a rebuild, and I just want to say this because this is going to lead us into our next segment that we're doing. So pretty nicely. So I'm gonna just say this: you cannot build a team based off of transfers, and you have to recruit. Okay, you have to. You can't just add three guys from the transfer portal and say that you're building a team off of this. This is not going to sustain. If you're a team like Pitt, just grabbing quarterback transfers every single year, you got to recruit these quarterbacks. And we're going to talk about the transfer portal here because it leads pretty nicely. Um, we got a bunch of transfers entering the transfer portal, and I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I do want to talk about some of them. We'll talk about Alabama transfers. Alabama tight end Elijah Brown enters the transfer portal. Um, you got anything on that?
Highly recruited in this last class that we had. I guess he expected to start right away. We had Cameron Latu still. He's fixing to be drafted. I don't know why guys like him, Elijah Brown, like, wait your turn. I understand. Like, it's one thing if they come in and they've waited like more than a year or 2 years. This guy just got here. Who knows what went on? I mean, maybe there's something the coaches know that we don't, and maybe there's maybe he just had personal issues or wasn't giving enough effort in practice. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I wish him the best of luck going forward. But it is a loss for Alabama because I was looking forward to him. He is pretty talented.
Yeah, and then we got Twisted. Shout out to Twisted Rooster. He's in the chat there. South Carolina safety Anthony Rose entered the transfer portal a couple days ago since it's been open. He was suspended from the team in February alongside his teammates Montague and Cameron Upshaw related to an illegal assault rifle. So he's in the transfer portal as well. Not sure where he's going to go, but leave a comment down below where you think he might end up there. Also got Oregon player Jaleel Tucker and Travion Mahi. They enter the transfer portal there. You got a brand new head coach and Dan Lanning there. These guys, Tucker was a 4-star recruit out of San Diego. He's a highly recruited guy. Class of 2019, Mahi was a 3-star recruit out of Las Vegas. So I guess they're not going to get enough playing time. And a lot of these guys, they go for the bag, and
Yeah.
which brings me up to my next guy that I want to talk about is Bear Alexander. I want to get an outside perspective on this before I say what I have to say about it. What you think about Georgia and Bear Alexander?
I honestly, not that I'm still in shock. I thought Bear Alexander, who's a freshman this year, was going to come in and not just be handed the job. Obviously, it doesn't work that way, especially not. I thought he'd be talented enough to be a beast, and he spring game. And I don't answer as far as like did he not do or did something come up or whatever. But as soon as the spring game was over, as soon as it was over, he said, "See you later." And I don't know where he's going to go next. Come to Bama. But I mean,
yeah, I think
I don't know, man.
as far as I know you joke around and say come to Bama and everything, but I think you have to have special permission now. You have to have waivers and stuff to go to SEC competition, and that might stop him from going to an SEC school. That's why you're hearing rumors that Bear Alexander is going to possibly go to the USC Trojans. Now, here's my thoughts on this. Okay, now everybody's saying, "Well, Georgia loses Bear Alexander. That's a catastrophe. Georgia's gonna fall off. Yada 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 yada." That's far from the truth. Okay. You know, listen to this. This guy has been to 4 different high schools. Okay,
Yeah.
gets recruited by Georgia, commits to Georgia, decommits to Georgia, recommits to Georgia. Okay. Uh, plays last year at Georgia. Now, he wants to go to a different team because he feels like that he's not getting enough playing time. Now, you can take what he's saying and say that he's not telling the truth and he's going to chase a bag, which that's what some people believe. Or you can take him at his word and say, you know what? He's not getting enough playing time, which I think is a ridiculous statement in the first place because he was going to be a starter on Georgia's defense line. But one thing you have to
Yeah.
realize about Georgia Georgia and the Alabamas of the world, right? These guys get switched out during games so much, right? So I guess if he goes to a USC team, he's going to be playing a lot more than if he played at Georgia because Georgia rotates guys. Alabama rotates guys, right? Even the
Yeah.
Ohio States of the world, they rotate guys. So I guess it could be true about playing time. Georgia's still loaded at the defensive line position. You still got Michael Williams. You still got Jordan Big Baby Hall. Watch out for him, true freshman. Um, you still got Zion Logue. You still got a lot of beast there on that defensive line, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not really too worried about the defense line. You still got you know, you still got a lot of guys, right? Warren Brinson comes to mind. He's going to be really good. So
Yeah.
I still believe Georgia's defensive line situation is going to be the best in the country. So take that for what it's worth. But
I mean, it,
moving
it
on
won't be
from
the
that, let's talk
yeah.
about Wisconsin. Their running back Julius Davis has entered the transfer portal. Um, he spent the last 4 seasons of his career with the Badgers. Um, in his 9 career games, he has received 35 carries for 200 yards, averaging 6.9 yards per carry in 2022. He was the number one player in the state of Wisconsin in 2019. So he's going to be a good running back to look after in the portal. Um, I'm getting
Hmm.
my news from On3 transfer portal news. I'm just going and looking at some of these big name schools that we see right here. TCU wide receiver Jordan Hudson enters the transfer portal. Um, according to On3, that he has confirmed Tuesday afternoon that the Horn product wideout has submitted his paperwork to find a new home in the portal. So he
Yeah.
played last year as a true freshman and recorded a total of 174 yards, receiving yards. So a lot of these people, they're going for playing time. A lot of these people, they're going to catch a bag, and I'm gonna be honest. That is exactly what. Uh, that is exactly what. Um, that's exactly what that's what college football is all about now. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this is gonna wrap up pretty much the transfer portal segment here. And we're gonna talk about NIL for a second here. Um, listen, a lot of people don't like NIL. And there's only one thing I do not like about NIL, and that's tampering with these college kids or college adults, whatever you want to call them, right? They're over 18, so I guess you could say college adults. They're treating this kind of like a free agency, right? Um, you
Yeah.
know, you got these coaches texting once they enter the transfer portal. You got these guys giving phone calls, texting guys like, "Hey, come to this, come to USC, come to Oregon, come to pick your school." And I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it. I think there should be a different way to go about that. Um, I don't think tampering should be allowed, and I think the NCAA needs to figure out a different way to, once you open a can of worms, it's really hard to put them can of worms back into place, right? So
Yeah.
I don't think this is ever going to be 100% uh, what you would call fair, right? Right now, it's just the open can of worms with NIL. Give us your thoughts on this.
I was never for NIL to begin with. Um, I get it now. I guess in a way, like if you want to make money playing football, go to the NFL. Just do that. I think that what messes me up too is now there's you mentioned tampering in college football. Um, Recruiting is being taken over by money. And, all these coaches, all these programs, they want to, like, kids want to go now to these schools because they see this guy getting like this $10,000 NIL deal with, I don't know, Kellogg cereal or something like that. And, um, that's why they're going to school now. That's why they're going to these programs. It's not about winning a championship anymore. Some of them out there, yes. But what happened to going to play football because you want a professional career in football? Now it's all about the money. Oh, I could make money off my name, image, and likeness now. They could use me for a brand. I could get rich quick. And I mean, I was never ever for NIL, and I'm still not for it today.
Well, I'm gonna slightly disagree with you. I'm all for players getting paid,
No.
but I do not agree with how it's being done. Okay,
Okay.
I don't agree with, like, don't tell a recruit, "Hey, come over here. We got a good NIL deal for you." Right? I don't agree with that. Right? I think recruiting, and then I think it's, Georgia and Alabama are doing this, right? And
Yeah.
right now Georgia is saying, "I'm gonna recruit you, and once you get to Georgia, then we'll talk NIL." Right?
Yeah.
And that's how it should be done. Okay.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree.
this whole entire thing of come here, like Jaden Rashada, perfect
Yeah.
example, right?
Oh,
Um,
let's go.
Perfect example. Florida NIL collective said, "Hey, we're gonna give you $11 million." He says, "Okay," and he's chasing a bag. Okay, all right. So he pretty much signs with Florida, and
Mhm.
then he has to ask Florida to release his his contract with the University of Florida, because he was not given what he was promised. And now look at the Florida Gators now. They're in a world of doo doo. And shout out to fish and football, but Florida's not going to be good next year. I don't even care. Uh, that one thing that they needed was a quarterback, and they fumbled it. All right, and
Yeah.
they fumbled the bag there. Um, I mean, you got anything else to say about the NIL?
I mean, I guess I get your stance on it to a certain point. I mean, if they want to go make money, but just don't tamper with recruiting with it. I mean, I know I say, and I'm still going to stick by this that I don't like it at all. But it's the world we live in. College football's changing. I'm always going to love college football no matter what. I just got to suck it up and deal with it, and not throw a pity party. And, there's just certain things we got to deal with. And part of it is that athletes can now get compensation off their name, their image, their likeness, basically their brand. And I think as long as we're not cheating the system, I guess it'll be okay.
Yeah, and I do not listen. I'm about to do this, but I do not want this to turn into a hangout. So I do want to bring people on if they want to talk about college football for the we're
Right.
going to do about 15 minutes or so. But
Yeah.
if you want to come in, there's the StreamYard link right there. But don't come in talking about nonsense. Let's talk about college football. If you got anything to add to the show, and if you like the show, please leave a thumbs up. And if you really like the show, listen, subscribe to Ballard Sports Media. Okay, if you really like this show,
Yeah.
you know,
We're
he
also
does.
oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. We're also live on Facebook. Leave a like on the Facebook page for Ballard Sports Media too.
Yeah, let's try to get Ballard Sports Media to 1,000 subs if you can. He's almost there. He's about probably 60 or 70 away from that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave the StreamYard link right there for a few minutes. If anybody wants to pop on and give their take, even if you have a bold take, right?
Yeah.
If you have a bold take that you want to give, this is the Touchdown on Tuesday show where we make bold takes and bold claims. So anything you say, whether it be a really bold take or just a simple, Georgia's going to win the national championship again. I mean, say it. Come on and say it. There's the StreamYard link there. We're going to wait a few more minutes. Let somebody hop on. But if nobody's going to hop on, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Anything going on down in Ballard Sports Media world?
Yeah, man, just gonna try my best to continue team previews this off season. I say every Power Five team, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. But we'll get as many as we can this off season throughout the summer and into early fall before football season kicks off. So there's that. I did come up with the live stream schedule. I'll have to go back and look at it, but I think I want to do. I mentioned Tuesdays with you. I figured we do Friday or Saturday, and then possibly, um, yeah. I mean, just one day on the weekends, and then just for us to kind of hang out, and then there's Tuesdays with you. So
Yeah, and on the Eat 'em Dogs channel, listen, I'm Mayhem Matthew. That's the name, but Eat 'em Dogs is the game. So on the Eat 'em Dogs YouTube channel, we have a live show schedule set up already. And we have Sundays. We're going to be talking it up about college football. Um, Tuesdays, the Touchdown Tuesdays, and then I got a new show called Recruiting Dogs. Okay, it's everything about recruiting, about the Georgia Bulldogs, and what I've been hearing throughout the week. So, this week, what you got this weekend coming up? What you got, Ballard?
we got A-Day on Saturday. I don't know if I'm available. We'll go live for A-Day for the spring game for Alabama, and that's really all I got planned. Is just I would hope to. I'm not going to A-Day this year, but I would like to stream the game and react to it and give my thoughts on Alabama so far this offseason.
All right, for sure. And last thing before we go, I do want to say that I got some great content coming out for y'all on the Eat 'em Dogs YouTube channel. So please subscribe to that. It's free. Hit the like button on the video so it can get out to people, and drop a comment on what y'all think about this show. But this Saturday, I'm going to Athens again, and they're having a festival to where I will be honored with a lot of other Georgia fans to hoist up the national championship trophy. So
Nice,
I'm
nice.
really excited about that. I'm probably going to have to wait in a very, 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 very long line, but it's well worth the wait to get to touch that trophy. So hopefully, I can get some video footage and show y'all what's going on in the world of Georgia football and Edom dogs. So thank y'all for watching. Leave a like if y'all liked it. Leave a comment in the comment section if y'all if y'all didn't like it. Or just leave a thumbs down. Don't really matter. But subscribe to Ballard Sports Media, and we are checking out.
See you guys later. Love you.